Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to ZukaTube, and in today's episode, we will be reviewing Loki, episode 5. And this episode is called Journey into Mystery. So, that's a title from the old Thor and Loki stuff from Atlas Comics before the Marvel. Before the Marvel. I end up putting like the in front of everything. Like, I'm like, oh, I was on the Facebook today. Like, I'm becoming a super old man here. And I know a bunch of people are going to watch that and laugh at me now. But either way, right? Especially people that call me an old man on a regular basis. But I'm going to play this promo. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a play-by-play of some of the episode. I'm going to give you my review. We'll play some clips. And then we'll do spoilers at the end, right? So let's get right into this promo here. These are all kind of just... These things are pasted together, I feel like, these promos. Like a schoolgirl's locker when you were a kid, you know? It's just a collage of just vomit. Like, they don't necessarily give you a general idea of what's happening in the episode. They show you just a mix of stuff. It's just mismatched right in your face, right? But they're cool. I enjoy them. Let's play this.
Critics are raving.
I'm a fan.
Loki is one of the most ambitious, craziest stories Marvel Studios has ever told.
We are doing some good work today.
Loki is the best show on TV right now.
Yeah, who says that?
Come on.
I see no signature on that quote. Like, okay, my cousin said it, whatever. Wasting my time. Look at that big ship. Pretty cool, huh? See, these trailers make Loki seem like he's actually a badass somewhere in this show.
Glorious.
Glorious. Yeah. See, glorious promo. That's what I'm going to say, right? Decent promo, but once again, just crazy, like mismatched, thrown in your face kind of deal. All right, so basically it leaves off, right? And when Loki gets pruned, when the little zappy stick gets him, turns out you don't die. You basically get moved to the trash timeline at the edge of time in 2020, right? And it goes to a shot of the golden elevator at the TVA, you know, and then it shows another clip in the void here in this timeline thing that they get pruned to in Pruneland. So or Pruneville or whatever you want to call it, right? So they show the Avengers Tower in there all wrecked, but it says Kang on it, which, you know, could be a nod to where this show is ending, but who knows? And it shows a cloud is coming. And, you know, they show obviously the other Lokis and everything that I mentioned in the previous episode. And it's the evil cloud, Alioth, and it's going to come in there and it's going to kill some stuff. And that's basically all it does. So I guess things get dumped there in this trash. Like, you get pruned. And then you turn into the prunes for this old cloud to eat. And that's it, I guess, you know? So it cuts then to Lady Loki questioning the TVA leader, right? You know, a lot of talky-talky. You find out the timekeepers are building a utopia, you know, and like I said, they're sending things that they don't want to the end of this time thing and letting the cloud deal with it. And obviously she finds out now that Loki's alive, so there's that. And then it goes over to the void again, and Loki and the other Lokis, you know, they're trekking through to escape, and they show a UFO and a boat and all kinds of stuff that crash landed, you know. There's a lot of talk banter between the Lokis, and they show a bunch of like random stuff in the background as well, like a Thanos helicopter, like when they get in their little subterranean base that Kid Loki, I guess, controls. He's like the leader there. They show like the frog version of Loki trapped in the jar, or not Loki, of Thor trapped in the jar. Then they go back to the TVA, right? And they show Lady Loki and the leader using Miss Minutes, the little Fallout ripoff thing character, to go through the timeline. And they're trying to figure out who's in control, right? And it looks like they're about to work together. But then security comes in, and Lady Loki, you know, because she's on top of things always, she's like, bam, pruned myself, right? So after that, right, you meet the Vote Loki team and everything, because they're sitting in there, and of course, you know, once again, mockery of Loki, like he's talking about how we have to do this and save everything, blah, 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 and they all just laugh at him. So there's that, right? And he goes to leave, and you see basically the Loki team show up with the Vote Loki character, and they basically wash away another bait and switch here, because they show you all these nods to the comics potentially that they're going to do. with the Loki character, but then they don't really do it for the main Loki himself that the show is about. They kind of use it as a throwaway bait and switch by just featuring it on a random person that's only going to be in a certain amount of small airtime on one episode usually. And so that's how this is going, right? And you meet them, and then they're all basically turning on each other and getting in fights and all that stuff, right? And Lady Loki, then it flashes over, and she's sent to the void, but like wakes up in a nest of branches, you know, like the Groot nest, because like she's so precious and must be protected. And they show her running from the cloud, just outrunning the cloud, no big deal, and crushing it, you know. Like it was a little bit of a weird thing, right? Because coincidentally, Mobius just appears in a pizza car, and I'm like, okay, so the Loki and the other Lokis one played out a little bit more believable. This version, she gets beamed in, and she's like nestled in some branches, you know. She's like, she runs no problem from the cloud, and Mobius just shows up, noble steed in the pizza truck, like for them to ride away. And she's like, oh, I'm on top of things. I'm gonna take care of this shit. No big deal, you know. And she's ranting about it, you know, talkie with Mobius, the whole deal. They do reflection and sad stuff too, you know, all that. So they show all the Lokis arguing because obviously they turned on each other, you know, Vote Loki and his group are there and blah, blah, blah. They're all fighting and stuff, right? And you get to see one of the funny parts of the show, which is the crocodile Loki biting off the other Lokis, the Vote Loki's hand and stuff. Let me play this little clip real quick.
Take the throne.
Ah, yes. Not so good a bargain. How about this one? My army, my throne.
About that.
My beef with
Yeah, they just all turn on each other.
scrubs. We had a deal. Why the
Everybody
hell is
turns
there
on
an
each other.
alligator in here?
He's a Loki.
Just bit his hand off. I thought that was kind of funny. Right? Chompy chomp, right? And they do a little funny fight scene and stuff. And then Loki's in the background, like, well, main Loki. And he's just like, I'm out of here. I don't want to touch this. You know, that kind of deal, right? So Loki and the few other from the beginning basically escape. And they have reflection time, talkie talk time, sad time, you know. And everybody, of course, like, is always in this. You notice even these people are like just totally cucks for Lady Loki here. Like, these dudes, they're apparently just incapable. They're so inferior, these guys, right? Which is weird because you see one of these Lokis do, I would say, the most powerful things you've ever seen any Loki do, kind of deal, right? But I'm not going to give that up till the end, so we'll talk about that towards the end, right? In my spoilers section. So they show Mobius obviously doing the same kind of talky talk with Lady Loki, you know, the whole deal. They show a giant ship arrive, and like Lady Loki and Mobius also arrive, and they show the TVA leader. That now they flash over to that, and she's holding Missy Elliott B-15 hostage, and like trying to get information from her, you know, and all that stuff. And now this is when everything kind of comes to a head, and obviously now this is where we get into the spoiler section. So I'm not going to say anything about that right yet. Now, I'm going to give this episode, I don't know, I would say a 6.5. 6.5, it's very okay. There's a lot of very infuriating things in this episode, especially some of the things I had mentioned earlier. I'll mention a few more things in this spoiler section. But man, is it just like so infuriating too at the same time. But there's a lot of funny stuff in this one. And my favorite and only enjoyable character so far is in this one. And so I would really like to at least say that that's something, right? Best review I feel like I've given this show so far. Actually, I may have given one of the episodes a 7. I don't feel like I did though. But I'll have to look back. But either way, this is a 6.5. Now let's get into this spoilers section. Spoilers. Spoiled. All right. So now Lady Loki wants to basically enchant the cloud instead of killing it, right? And they're like, because she's the only one who can handle this situation and knows how to overcome this problem. And then they do this stupid, oh my God, emotional, like talk snuggle time session with the two of them, right? So here we go. Let me just play this clip.
Is it a tablecloth?
No, it's a blanket.
Thank you.
He like gave her some magic blanket action. Like, oh my God. This stuff is just like, and this is like just constant in this show where it's just so slow and it drags and it's reflection stuff. And this whole section, he's just constantly so apologetic and kissing her ass and basically just
You ever loved me,
demeaning himself and degrading himself
my brother,
constantly.
my home. I know what I did,
Oh my God.
and I know why I did it.
I could almost turn the episode off just at this part. It was so boring. But, okay. You know what? We're not even going to watch the rest of this clip. This clip, that was just an agonizing clip. So boring, right? Okay, so they had their snuggle time, right? And they're about to head out. And Lady Loki wants to be the hero and go by herself. But Loki's like, I can come with you. I'll go in the back. I'll sit in the back. I won't say anything. Like that kind of deal. And so they decide to go and basically try to enchant the cloud. And little Loki, right, gives him like a sword and to go and fight them. And they go to fight, and they basically stay there because they're going to stay in their little world. And basically Loki and Lady Loki are going to go off to fight the cloud, right? And they're having trouble. They can't really pull it off totally. But then, because I'm going to just kind of whatever over that because I want to get to the main part. Whoo! Richard E. Grant, old Loki, man. The MVP of the goddamn show. This dude is the most Loki-like character so far, and he is just showing amazing amounts of power and creativity and character. He has the best story arc. Old man Loki's story arc in this one episode is better than the story arc for the main characters of this show. And that's all I got to say to that. So I'm going to play this little clip here, right? Look at him. He literally made an entire Asgard, basically. Like, look at him, right? Made illusions. He made portals throughout this. I mean, this dude was the most powerful being in this whole thing. And then after he made an entire, like, illusion of Asgard as a distraction, look at him, and he's out of power. He's just sitting there. And he's ready for it, man. He's ready to take on this. Look at him. He's laughing in the face of death, dude. This guy's awesome. He's a great character, and it's a shame because, this part. Shout out to this All About Loki clips, man. They're great. They come in clutch here. Hopefully, like I don't constantly get flagged for posting little segments of the publicly available clips on the internet because this is just agitating, especially when we're just sitting here going over random stuff, and I don't want to go through big screen recordings or anything. I just only want stuff that's public to show everybody. But basically the only way then that happens is Lady Loki and regular Loki hold hands after that, and then they make the Wonder Twin power enchantment on the cloud, and they succeed, and they kind of break through the clouds, and they show basically the end of time, which is like, I don't know, either like Wayne Manor or like the Hogwarts or something over there, kind of castle-like thing. But yeah, like Richard E. Grant steals the show as the most entertaining Loki, the most Loki-like character, and again with his power and everything, creating portals and just the illusion of Asgard on that grand of a scale, and just the way he like kind of, postures himself and talks about certain things in the episode. It's enjoyable for sure. But like I said, like even the other Lokis, they all just laugh at the main Loki. He's just a constantly diminished character. They've even diminished, like I said, the potential for giving any nods to some of the Loki comic stuff by not giving it to the main Loki and kind of just really quickly passing it through with a variant character that just means nothing in the end. So that bait and switch kind of thing they do, and especially with Lady Loki being like the drive and the only successful aspects of this show as far as a character doing anything, you know, kind of really makes main Loki be like a second fiddle character. So it really, I don't know, it really drowns out things a lot, especially with the way they kind of hype certain things or portray things in a trailer that might get you excited for something, and then they kind of water it down quite a bit in the way they do it in the episode. But I guess we're going to see the way this all closes out if the next episode is the last episode. Again, I'm going to give this a 6.5. Check out the entertaining parts with the other Lokis for sure. That's a lot of funny stuff in there. But once again, you know, there's a lot of just reflection time and talk and just constantly bowing to Lady Loki here rather than just the actual main character, and rather giving any nods or build up or any valuable story to the actual character in comparison to, like I said, Richard E. Grant's character, and which is the only reason to watch this episode. So there's that, right? Zukatube out.
I'm staying charged on my feet, I'm like a factory. Dropping lines like an assembly. I'm staying on point, it's my strategy. Feel like they're tracking me. Yo, let me get on one. Nah, go get your tracks up. Homie, can I steal some? Homie, you can't stack up. My brother, can you shout me? You're barking up the wrong tree. My dog, why do you doubt me? Cause you can't do shit without me.
Real like the radio and never play it, but that's cool. The enemy's supposed to hate it.